Hi, everybody. It's Craig and Robert back with Doc's Daily for Friday. Friday's action, July 25th. Hopefully, Nick Minkin's having some issues with his camera. Hopefully, he'll get logged in and join us here shortly. Either way, we got some free plays for you today. And you can get us every day, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Saturday, you get the Knuckleheads, Lenny and Griffin. And it's a little different show, a little fun. Get in on 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays. Don't forget, let's take care of some business. You can get in on all of our top plays over at the website, and it's free to check us out with a free $60 account for new customers. DocSports.com/free60 gets you in, and you can use that towards anything at the website. It's usually $30 per day per sport, so you can get in 2 different sports if you would like over at the website. Okay, now also don't forget about the premium. We got 3 levels of premium now. It's actually not on this screen, but it's $4.99 for level 1. That gets you Lenny's play every day, plus early access to all of our videos that we schedule out. So many of our videos we schedule out, so you get them hours early, so you get the best lines and that kind of stuff. And you get exclusive video from Lenny every day with some really unique stuff. Then you can get the IC level 2 at $19.99. That also comes with level 1. And then if you want the premium plus, that's 3 Doc Sports plays every day, $49.99, and you get the first 2 levels included in that. So you can't get it. It's like it's about $3,000 worth of picks a month for $49.99. So make sure you click the link in the description to get in. You will not regret it. Okay, Robert, how did you do yesterday? I'll tell everybody how I did because it wasn't a great day. We'll tell the little story. But Robert, how did you do yesterday and what you got today?
I almost want to hear your story first. Why don't you go ahead?
Well, I was hoping Nick would join me because he's in on this. Like he's in on it.
Yeah, I was doing yesterday's show and I said to Lenny, half jokingly, I was like, I can't wait to bet against both of you guys so that I could come on Friday and just harass you both.
Can you guys see me?
Unfortunately, we can see you. Unfortunately.
Got the Cubs gear on.
Now we can't
I don't want to hear
you.
It was an awful, brutal ending. You can't hear me now?
We got you.
All right. Brutal ending to that game. Yeah, starting quarterback goes down. We had the touchdown lead, and then Montreal just kept chipping away.
Well, even before that, though, let's go back. Before that, they're driving. I mean, they just scored a touchdown. They were driving, and they fumbled. Like, that was going in. They were getting points in that one. And then they go back, they pin them back, and then the next possession, they knock. I don't know. Dude, if you're a quarterback and you're not sliding when you can't get he couldn't have got the first down in a million years. And he goes head first, and then that's it. Like, out for the game. Hurt. And I don't know, PJ Walker, I mean, they make like $60,000, right? Like quarterbacks, and I'm guessing that backup quarterbacks don't make any more of that in the CFL.
I could be a backup.
How can he be your best backup? Because he wasn't good when he was in the NFL when he finished up. I know he was good in the XFL like eons ago, but this dude hasn't been good. He should have, like, one of them should have been a pick 6, by the way. Like, the guy dropped it. It should have been a pick 6. He was absolutely terrible. They're not going very far if he's your backup. I hope Adams will be back next week. But a lot of that was about the quarterback play. So when the quarterback went down, ugly play for Nick and I.
Looks like the kicker for the other team went 5 for 5 from field goals. Nailed a 57-yarder to win. That's true too?
Oh, and then they gave him the ball back with in a minute and a half, and when you only need a field goal in the CFL is like you basically need 2 first downs, and they could kick the field goal to win the game. We still would not have covered, to be very clear. But I was like, there is 0.000 that dude was driving them down to score. He got 1 first down, which was the first of the game, and then it was like, I mean, just not even close to guys. Not even close.
Yeah, I'm seeing a little article here. The stats that defined Montreal's win. The forced fumble they talk about in the third quarter, 7-point lead, and they were about to score. That was the only turnover that they had of the game. And then there was a flea flicker. It looks like Caleb Evans, whoever that is, 322 yards. Yeah, those are tough.
I mean, you play the CFL. There's no depth. There's no depth in the quarterback play. The quarterbacks aren't great to begin with in the CFL. So when you get to the second one, very, very few. Now, Montreal did win. That was their backup quarterback, Alexander. I think he's on this out for 5 or 6 weeks now. So they're going to have a lot to do. They really needed that one once they basically announced that right before game time. So They played great. They did play very good. They still should have lost. I don't think we should have covered. We probably should have pushed, to be very honest. But we should not have lost that game.
Right.
That's the way football. Injuries.
It's like I say when we talked about these things. Like these are the ones that drive me nuts, right? Like if they had lost 40-8.
Yeah,
if Calgary had just lost 40-8 and just got bombed, it's like, okay, that happens. But it's ones like this where you had the right side.
Fourth quarter, and he fumbles the ball, and it's like, oh,
right. Well, there's two things you can't handicap in football.
Injuries
at least.
too.
Injuries
and
turnovers. If you get those two things right, you almost win. You probably win 75% of the time. Sometimes when you're going good, you catch those injuries to be your favor. And sometimes when you're going bad, they, you just get bad luck. And I won't say it's bad luck. It was just bad timing because, if he goes down with 2 minutes to go in the game, you're probably good. It's just it happened when they needed. They just loaded the line and said, "Beat us, PJ Walker."
Yeah, somebody remind me the next time that injury luck goes my way. Just make sure I don't make sure I don't miss it. Make sure I'm paying attention the next time that there's a big injury that goes my way. And
I win a lot in the NBA when the injuries go. It seems like teams they get up for it. It's like they rally. When you have a key injury in the NBA, you seem to at least have a chance. It's like in football when you lose your quarterback. It's just like the winds in the sail just gone. Yeah. And it's very seldom.
My breath just literally left my body. I was like, oh boy, the momentum all shifted now. Now
and all of a sudden he come running out of the tent, and I'm like, oh shit, he's going back in the game. And, and after the first series, I was like, oh, if he's even questionable, he's going in now. Nope, no helmet on. No, we have no chance.
Awesome.
No chance.
Like when Jay Cutler went out in the NFC Championship game that one year. You remember that, Nick? And
I do.
Sat there on the sideline. God, I hated that guy. I don't know if I've ever hated him.
I mean, the biggest probably injury ever in a football game in college football. Remember when was the Texas quarterback in the championship game and he hurts his Colt McCoy. He hurts his hand, loses feeling in his arm, and he doesn't get to play the rest of the game. And it was it was just he lost his feeling in his hand. He could not feel his hand to throw the ball.
And he's just standing there on the sideline, which makes it worse. If you got to cart the guy off, okay, that happens. But it's dude, you're right there. If you can stand, how are you not playing? But it was
that was an absolute, and it literally happened first 5 minutes of the game. So then you got to watch the entire game. And then they're interviewing them at halftime. They're like, he's starting to get a little thing, feeling back in his hand. I think, oh crap, he's going to come back and give, the
super shocking that Cole McCoy and Jay Cutler were massive underachievers in their careers too. Weird.
I always say Colt McCoy is one of those guys who got everything out of his ability, but it was in college. And then it kept people in the NFL kept saying well, this guy could dude, the difference between college and the NFL is so big. It's the greatest jump between any sports and the pro college.
He just couldn't stay healthy. He just could never stay healthy. I always talked about him as one of the best backups in the NFL. I'm because you'd watch him in the preseason, you'd see him when he would get action in games. I'm this guy could be an NFL starter. His accuracy, his decision making, the way he delivered the ball. Cole McCoy could have been an NFL starter. But he's not like Josh Rosen or some of these other idiots who just we're never going to make it. Johnny Manziel, Cole McCoy could have. But anytime he got an opportunity, he got hurt 15 minutes later. He was just a wuss. He was just a wuss.
I'm super excited here in Cincinnati because we know Joe Burrow always gets hurt. And now we've got two quarterbacks. And, they just signed Desmond Ridder. So I guess he's going to be the third quarterback, which in the NFL, two quarterbacks isn't enough anymore. You really do need three.
Desmond Ritter's not the solution to any problem.
If he's your third quarterback,
he's
your third quarterback, you're probably doing okay though.
Listen, if he's your third quarterback, you might have a shot at your CFL game of the year because he's a
if he was a backup last night, we would have won.
That guy's a CFL ass quarterback. That's what Desmond Ritter is. That's my point. Is that guy is not.
He only lost one. He didn't lose a home game, I think, ever in Cincinnati. And guess where he's back? Cincinnati. So I'm just saying.
That tracks.
But we have
no question that math.
Hall of Fame is.
Can't argue with that math right there.
Hall of Fame game is
Thursday.
Thursday. This coming a week from yesterday.
Yes. Yep.
I was
talking about it. The official countdown is on 7 days to the first football action.
I was up in Cleveland, took my daughter to a college visit yesterday. And did you see the Browns guy that was taking picture on the water?
That fell in the water.
And fell in the water, dude. That is like, I mean, it's the most Browns thing ever. I mean, it's just like he kept backing up. Like he was on the edge and he kept going in and he went in. And so, I think it was Dave Portnoy shared it. And it's like, this sums up the whole Browns like last
organization.
Like, like the guy, it's supposed to be the thing. And then there's the greatest thing is, I don't know if it's a mascot or whatever, and like throws him like some plastic thing, cling to. And I was showing my daughter, I was dying. But everybody in Cleveland was playing that. It was great. We had a good time up there. Drove past the Hall of Fame where the game's going to be tomorrow, and they're already got the setup going on. Of course, this is when they announced or bring in the Hall of Fame class for this year as well. So not just the game, we have all that hoopla, and it's the Lions, right?
Chargers, Lions. Lions are a 1-point favorite in that game. That's, if the Lions can field a team, I don't know if anyone's been keeping track, but they have had injuries every single day of training camp. Apparently it's really physical. They've had to call practice early a couple days because, they're being a little too physical. So we'll see. As it stands right now, there's still a long time. A lot can happen between now and then. That's probably not a game that I'm going to be in on.
I can't imagine there'll be any starters for the Lions out there.
No, I like that. Have them.
But if you said who's going to play their starters, Jim Harbaugh would be like if you said someone's going to make their starters play, I would be like, what? Give me any coach. I'd be like Harbaugh.
Well, that's why we're a week out. The line can move. Who knows? But probably not going to play anything on it. And that's why, because both of these coaches are kind of maniacs. And those are the types of angles that you look for in preseason betting, right? Like if it was Dan Campbell against Raheem Morris, if they were playing Atlanta, they're like Dan Campbell. It doesn't matter that it's a preseason game. He's going to have a firecracker up his guy's ass, and they're going to be ready to go. Same thing with Harbaugh. If he was going against some veteran coach or some schlubby dude out there, I'd bet on Harbaugh because he just wants to win. He doesn't care that it's a meaningless game. But you get these two guys going up against each other. I'm like, no thanks.
There's the other Harbaugh brother, John Harbaugh, is unbelievable in the preseason. Look it up.
Yes,
not only straight up, but against the spread. I think it's 15-5 or something like that.
Oh, it's more. It's way. Yeah, definitely more than that.
They had won 12 in a row.
Undefeated in preseason.
It's out of control.
Wrong, but he might be.
Last year they lost one. But up until last year, he had won 10 in a row or 12 in a row or something.
It was 20. It was 20.
It'd gone way back
in a row. They had gone 6 or 7 years. But a lot of that, Harbaugh, sure, so much of that with the starting of the streak was Ozzie Newsome, and then just their front office. They just get rosters, man.
Yeah.
They just have 80 good dudes. And that's why the Ravens always have one of the best top to bottom rosters in the NFL. They just have dudes all over the place, physical, angry guys that want to play and want to rip people's heads off. And that's how they approach the preseason. Can you imagine what those training camp practices are like if that's how they play in those games? So,
to make the Ravens, the second, third, and fourth string are they're close. They're close because they have great depth on the teams, why they've been so good. And they have decent backup quarterbacks. That always helps in the preseason if you have a good quarterback battle in your second, third, fourth quarterback, because then you get to sometimes they'll leave in the second unit a little longer, the third unit even a little longer, because they want to see both quarterbacks, so that they can, if you're putting a fourth string quarterback with fourth string players, they obviously aren't going to be as good if you put the fourth string quarterback with the third string, offensive line or second string offensive line. So we'll see. There's a lot to, it's 3 this year again. I still think within the next couple of years, we're probably going to go back to scale it back to another game, that it'd just be 2 preseason games, a home and away.
Well, that's what they're going to push for in the next CBA negotiation is they're going to try and push to 18 games. And, they're going to consider that one of their carrots to lay out there is, hey, we'll take it away another preseason game. Even though most of the starters and big money players don't play in these preseason games. So it's not really a benefit to them. If anything, it just hurts the guys at the bottom of the rungs who are trying to fight to prove that they belong in the NFL. You look at Carolina, a guy like Jalen Coker last year. Undrafted free agent, played great in the preseason, had a really good rookie year. There's stories all over football from the last 10 years of guys who earned their spot based on what they did in the preseason. So,
but I think the big carrot for the NFL is not just we'll take away preseason, is they're going to expand the rosters a little bit. So there'll be more positions open and expand the practice squads. If anybody saw the $452 billion, was it billion that the Packers released?
Yeah, 426. Yep.
Billion.
No, million.
Million. Okay. Million. Oh yeah. Because it was what was the total revenue last year from TV? It was like I forget. It said it in the article. But the Packers alone, they're the only ones, of course, that release the information because they're publicly owned. Mm-hmm. Like in quotation, they're publicly owned that you can't sell it, but basically. So it was pretty big. There's obviously money there to expand the rosters, and I think it'd be a better product, to be very honest, if you expand the rosters a little bit. I don't think we're going to be like college teams, but if you have,
I think they should expand the rosters, but not add any more games. I love football as much as the next guy. I don't need 18 regular season games. You're just
there's going to be a lot more injuries.
If they do, they'll have to add another bye week. So it'll be 2 bye weeks, 18 games, expanded rosters, expanded practice squads.
Regardless, sometimes good is good enough. All you're going to do is increase the risk of injuries
the problem is the odd
in the
number
playoffs, and then you're going to be playing these playoff games, which are big money games. Like those draw huge numbers, a lot of ad revenue and stuff like that. And if you're playing playoff games without your best players, it just it loses all of its luster. And to what end? To see the Saints play an extra regular season game, to give the Seahawks, more ticket revenue for one game. No, they're good where they're at. I still wish
17 is a problem with the. I mean, to be honest, one team gets extra home game, then another team that a lot of times, it's so close come playoffs, that ends up being a major issue. The other thing is talking about is expanding an extra playoff team because then no one would get a bye. I don't know if that would move the needle or not, because if you look last year, it would have mattered in the AFC last year. Like the Bengals would have got in. No one wanted to face the Bengals last year. It would not have helped the NFC last year. Like the last team in the NFC last year was not going to be, beating anybody. So, but let's get to baseball. Let's talk a little baseball. Robert, you kick us off. Who do you like here in baseball? There's some juicy underdogs today if you want to take a swing, I think, right?
Philly. Yeah, I'll take one of those underdogs. I'll take Philadelphia at plus 140. It's almost one of those lines where it's like, I feel like I'm walking into the trap here. It just looks a little too juicy. But then again, I went the other way yesterday with Detroit at home against Toronto. I'm like, okay, kind of an indicator line. Like Toronto had just beaten the Yankees 2 out of 3. Detroit just got swept by Pittsburgh, yet Detroit's favored. Let's play with the books here. So now I'm going the other way with Philadelphia. Plus 140. There's juices off. They should be maybe plus 110, maybe plus 115. Will Warren is just a really boomer bust guy for the Yankees. I really like his stuff. He has good stuff, but when he's off, he's way off. 4 of his last 6 starts, he's given up 4 runs or more. He gave up 5 runs in his last start. He had one where he gave up 8 earned runs, 7 earned runs. So it's like he either gives up 0 or 1 run or he gets bombed. Okay. The Yankees swept Philadelphia in Philly last year. Revenge isn't a huge thing in baseball, but these two teams and franchises and organizations are close enough where I can feel that pissing off the Phillies a little bit, and them kind of carrying a chip on their shoulder into this game. Again, Taijuan Walker stinks, but if him and Warren can just be equal, I just think that Philadelphia is a better top to bottom team. They blew a 5-0 lead the other day. They should have swept Boston in their series and made it 4 out of 6 wins coming out of the break. Like I said, the Yankees lose that series against the Blue Jays, where their head's going to be at. It's just the price is off. So this is more a play on the number than anything. So I'll just take the extra value with Philadelphia.
I kind of like that in the first 5 innings. I worry about that Phillies bullpen. I know they're going to get some help, but they right now, they just, you said it. They blew one just, what was that, Wednesday?
Yeah.
Wednesday. They just don't have a lot that you can depend on. When you call to the pen, you're probably as a manager, oh God, I hope they don't blow up.
Right.
I'm going to play devil's advocate on this one. I think I'm going the Yankees here on the run line. I just feel confident in the on the run line here, minus
Whoa.
1.5. It's better value. You get plus money on this one. Just because Walker he struggles on the road when he does pitch. But Warren, he hasn't been great. Or Walker, not Warren. I forgot who I said. Walker's on the bump for the Phillies here. He hasn't been good on the road. And Warren, he's been hit or miss here, but this is a spot where the Yankees really have to do some damage over the weekend here, just because you've seen what the Toronto Blue Jays did in their last game. They won against these New York Yankees. Now they took the lead in this division here. The Yankees, this is a series, especially at home, where you have to take advantage of here and do some damage on the offensive side. I would go with the Yankees on the run line if you want plus money, but if you want to play it safe, like these two did, stay the first 5 with the Phillies. Go ahead and do it, because Warren is a liability on the mound.
It's yesterday we saw the trade started. Nice pickup by the Mariners. Anybody interested? Woo is kind of like hit a little skids, but I always like when teams make that swing early. I think that sends a pretty positive message to the team. And I mean, he's due to be better. He's better than what he's been lately. I mean, he's still got a 2.92 ERA on the year. That tells you something. And the Angels aren't going anywhere. They've been a nice story. The Angels, if you'd have told me they were this close to 500, that's a win. If you're an Angels fan, an Angels front office, whatever. But the wheels, they're going to sell. They're going to be sellers. I mean, they have to be. I don't know like Trout's going to be sold, but I mean, I would love that. But what do you feel like there, Seattle? How about you, Robert?
Yeah. You said it. I haven't had much luck going against the Angels really all year. In terms of them bringing in the big bat, that's not usually how I play the trade deadline. I usually go with what you said. I go from the other end, where that's why I didn't take Arizona today against a really bad Pittsburgh team. Is I like to bet against the teams that sell. Yeah. And if the Angels do that, then I feel like I'll make up for some of those tickets that I lost against them in the first half. Because to your point, what's going to take the wind out of their sails? It's like these guys are like, we've done everything that you've asked of us, everything that you could. And if they sell off a starter, 2 relievers, and maybe one of their regulars, they don't have a lot of depth. They don't have a lot to sell, really. So no, I'm not looking to play Seattle just because I agree with you that I like the teams not waiting till the very last second of the deadline. Like if you're going to do something, do it. Pull the trigger. Get those extra 5 or 6 games out of the guy that you're making the move for, right? But no, what that also tends to do is kind of inflate the value a little bit on teams that just made big trades. I don't know if Naylor being dealt is going to move the needle there. But from my handicapping perspective, I think it's better to wait for the dust to settle and then just bet against those teams that sell, because those are the bottom rung teams or those middle tier teams that are kind of hanging on. And once the front office says basically, okay, we're building for the future, this year is over, these guys are like, okay, season's done. Screw it. Mail it in time for August and September.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why teams wait, to be very honest. If you're going to trade, what are you waiting for? Like you said, if you get especially you're getting regular players, if you get an extra 7 games and say you win an extra 2 because of that, that is a ridiculous chance. So to me, I like that the Seattle took the swing. I would dip in a little on Woo and Seattle here at minus 123. I thought that's pretty fair odds on, I think, a pretty big starting pitching edge, even though he hasn't been great early. Nick, what's your feeling on the trade deadline? Obviously, there's everybody, it feels like, except 5 teams are within like a couple games of the last wild card. So what's your feeling here the last week here, or not even, 6 days?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And I go back to my team, obviously, with the Chicago Cubs, because obviously on my phone, I'm hearing all these rumors on starting pitchers, maybe Miller, a closer, Class A is in there as well. So there's definitely going to be a lot of movement here towards this trade deadline. And how I look at it, how I play it, is I attack people who are going to be buyers, but closer to the trade deadline here. So the Milwaukee Brewers, they're in a great spot here. The Detroit Tigers, they're in a great spot where they have to start buying people. Yes, they're going to give up people, but at the end of the day, they're playing for their livelihoods, these guys. So yeah, they could get traded, but I look for people who are going to be buyers closer to the trade deadline, those guys, because they're going to make moves and they're going to have players play around them. So I'm looking at the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm looking at the Chicago Cubs. I'm looking at the Detroit Tigers here, people that need to make moves this offseason or by the trade deadline. So that's what I key up closer to the trade deadline.
Well, there's one guy pitching today that I think teams should probably, and I think he's available for the right price. Gore came in on the Soto deal for Washington. He's pitching today. He's been pretty good. He's kind of like, like you gave up Soto to get him and a couple other pieces. So would they be willing to part with him? But I think not only could he help you this year, this is one of those guys that could help you for future years. So if you're a team like my Reds that could use another starter for the next couple of years, I think he's not super expensive. So, but are you willing to give up? Going to take a nice prospect or two.
I've been saying that since May. I've been saying since May on this very show. I've been saying that somebody should go out and get him before waiting for the deadline. But for me, it comes back to what we talked about. Like, I don't care. Dylan Cease is another big name. Sandy Alcantara, who has been bad, but I could still see somebody making a move. Like, you don't want pitching. Like, you don't need pitching. Like, you need hitting. Every team needs hitting right now. I feel like a lot of I get it. I get it that the Cubbies, I understand you don't.
Not every team.
Relief pitching is something different. Like, everyone always needs to bolster their bullpen 100%.
Especially this time of year.
That plays, but I still am looking for more teams to make moves like Seattle did and go out and get hitters.
I like that. I like that approach by Seattle too, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to hunt down the Houston Astros, because obviously the Astros are leading that division. So I like that thought process, going after somebody that will have an impact on your team.
Look at Lenny. Hey, he was all over his Tigers, 3 weeks ago? They have this little lull.
Such losers. God, they're so.
What are they? 10 out of 11?
They're 1-10 in their last 11.
How many games are they up though right now? They're still up 8 games?
Yeah,
or
9 or 8 games.
I mean, it has
Bro,
happened.
8 games and the sky is falling quickly.
It has
8
happened
games.
though. We've seen teams be up double digits and not win the division. So
the
way they're playing right now, it's Scoobel can't pitch
the
enough.
entire Central.
I'm going to tell you why the Tigers are going to win today.
Because I didn't take them.
You bet the other side?
I bet hard-earned money, dollar bills, y'all, on the Toronto Blue Jays money line.
Oh yeah, that's
how bad it is here, folks. He's going full Costanza.
Hey, he called the Tigers and said, "Send me $500. I'm putting $500 on Toronto. I guarantee you win if you send me $500." I've been there with my teams before. It's like, and then as soon as you bet against them, it's like the greatest game of the year. It's Barrios, right? Today, tough one. Tough one when you're struggling. Like,
it doesn't matter. We couldn't hit the side of a barn right now with the beach.
The last time I was on, I think with Nick, we talked about the Yankees. I think someone it might have been with Griffin, that the Yankees were going to take that division. When I saw them play the Blue Jays this week, I think the Blue Jays are going to win that division. I don't think it's going to be the Yankees, unless the Yankees go out and make some ridiculous moves.
They're gonna. They always do. They'll get a couple.
They really haven't though in recent years. You go through them. They've stand pat a few times when you thought they would be traders. I don't know. And like, who's available? Alcantara, you don't want him. Like, he's not like if you're the Yankees. So you go through it. Now Gore would be a good pickup, but I don't think they want to give up big prospects.
Look, Toronto is just like the vintage year after team, right? Like last year, 2024 coming into the season, a lot of buzz about Toronto, right? Like, everyone's super excited about them, and then they threw up on themselves. Well, they still have really good players. They had a bad season. Like I can't wait till we're talking about the Orioles next July, because that's what's going to happen. Like, coming into this season, everyone was like Baltimore, like all that young talent. Orioles, they're terrible. They're not a good team this year. But you know what? Next year, they're bringing everyone back, and they're going to be a year older, and things are just going to break differently. And I will guarantee you, someone write it down, July 25th next year, going into the trade deadline, we're going to be talking about the Orioles battling for first place, and who are they going to add at the deadline. So, I agree with you, Craig. Like, I think Toronto is going to win it. It's not like they've been hot for a month. They've been playing great baseball since kind of real early in May. And you look at the team and it's like, okay, like, they don't have a ton of needs. They're not doing it because they're just bombing people with their lineup. They're not doing it with dominating pitching. They're good in a lot of different areas. So where the Yankees, they haven't been good in months. They've been kind of treading water for months. So I agree with you. I see two teams that are going in opposite directions, and it's not a fluke with Toronto. They have been a good team, a good talented team for 2 or 3 years. People have been waiting for this out of them. So it's not a fluke. They're going to keep playing good baseball for the next.
I think it's a very good likelihood the Yankees don't finish second. I like the Rays and the Red Sox are playing way better baseball, in my opinion, than the Blue Jays or than the Yankees. And the Yankees, they've been on Judge's back for like the entire season. The dude's going to break down at this point. And why would you ever pitch to Judge? If you have the base open, I'm just walking him. I'm walking him. I'm making somebody else on that team beat me. And that's just me. And I like the Red Sox. The Red Sox, I thought were going to be huge sellers. Once they've been very, very good. They're going to be buyers at this point. I don't know what they are going to add. I don't think it's going to be like a big, but I think they'll add some pieces that should help that team. And the Rays are the Rays. I mean, they just continue.
They just win games.
And who'd they sent down? Baz? No, who'd they sent down the other day? The young starter. They haven't even had their young starters haven't been unbelievable either. Rasmussen's been pretty good, but it's not like they have guys just pitching out their ass or guys. It's just everybody's playing good. The one thing I do worry about there is that ballpark is the little league ballpark basically. No home field. And the MLB had to come out and say what they're going to do if they play in the playoffs, where they're going to play, because the rumor was that they would play maybe in Miami, and MLB said, nope, you can play at that ballpark. So if they get in the playoffs, I just want to see that. I just want to see 10,000, 20, 18,000.
For whatever reason, they haven't been hitting the ball either. I mean, they lose 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. That's a little bit of an issue. They got swept 4 in a row at Boston before the break. So Tampa Bay, they're another one that are kind of I don't want to say the wheels are coming off, but they're not instilling a lot of confidence. They're still not a team I'm looking to bet against on a daily basis. But interesting series this week against the Reds, right? The Reds are kind of feisty.
Same spot though.
Yeah, they are exactly. But that's what I mean. If Tampa Bay loses 2 out of 3 to the Reds, how does that impact their mentality? Because then at that point they'll be 3-9 in their last 12. How does that impact their mentality going into the trade deadline?
I mean, funny enough, they're the exact same record, 53-50, headed into today. Who wins this series probably goes a long way to maybe what happens at the trade deadline, one way or the other. I don't think the Reds are going to be big sellers, even if they would lose, because they just have such a young team. They did not expect. Hunter Green what has he pitched? He hadn't pitched in 2 months, right?
Yeah.
If Hunter Green was Hunter Green, this team would be scary, I think. But Burns is still the other day. Burns, that was a little scary because he was great through 4, and it just wheels fell off, and they just left him out there to give up 5 or 6 runs. I'm what are you doing? He's your young guy. If you get through 4 innings, as soon as he struggles, you pull him out and say, congratulations, great 4 innings. And you build on it next time. So I don't know what they were thinking there, but it'll be interesting when Hunter Green, what happens, who moves down, because they've got some pretty good starters. Will Burns go back to the minors? I don't know. Interesting. But there's your free plays for today. Don't forget, tomorrow, Saturday, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with Lenny and Griffin. And if you have questions, that's a good time to get in. Lenny, I saw, gave away some premium memberships here. So I don't know how you claim those. It's in the comments section. I don't know. Well, this is something we've been talking about.
They already were. They claimed the first 5 already claimed them. I can tell you who claimed them.
But you do it in the comments when we do this, right, Lenny?
Yeah, I did it through the comments. But you can. You can also gift that whatever it was Fortnite. Do it on the desktop. I went to do it on my phone. 5 times 5 is $24.99. Whatever it was. It was $5 more via the phone, just like every other YouTube membership is. So do it on the desktop. Rogue Energy, Ride Cape, Hood Tycoon, Pringle, and Stop Geo received the 5 memberships.
Nice. So that's a month membership level 1 there. So enjoy. And, it cancels after that. So it's not like you have to do anything. So make sure it's another reason to watch us every day. We're going to be giving away some memberships, not every day, but many days. So thanks again, Lenny, for.
And then live show alerts. What are the odds in about 23 minutes?
Yep.
And betting outside the box. No for FEL today. It will be me and Nick Menken joining
at 5.
That is at 6 o'clock Eastern.
6. Okay, 6 o'clock Eastern. So make
about
sure
20 minutes. Go. It's got enough time. Go to the bathroom. Get yourself something to drink. Get settled in. Pen, paper. Robert's going to go over some
football. I'm gonna be talking football. So if you want to hear some football, start thinking some college football, that kind of stuff, it's going to be a football centric show. So that's what
just take all your money and go bet the Bengals right now, everybody. Trey Hendrickson is going to report to camp with late, so he'll be super healthy, and it's all going to be good.
Totally. Mike Brown, man. You always feel good putting your money on a Mike Brown back team.
I don't know how you can mess up paying your best player, or your best defensive player when you have a terrible defense. It's just pay the dude. And they're always worried about guarantees. Dude, after seeing what the Packers got, the Bengals get the same amount. You know what I mean? Every team gets the same amount. It's dude, spend the money. Quit being tight ass.
All right, we're out. See you tomorrow. Good luck unless you're against us.